So I'm not going to stand on my soapbox here and tell you why you should vote for me, because you guys already saw the majority of that. But I do want to touch a little bit more on how he was talking about how we can sort of approach this differently besides the court, because that kind of makes a lot of us feel kind of powerless. That's an overwhelming situation. But a real way you can make that impact is getting involved in politics, which sucks. I'm sorry about that. But to that end, I want to tell you a little bit about me versus what we normally see. So one of the things you'll hear from the 6 gentlemen running against me is that I don't have any experience in politics. And I don't have an argument for that because they're right. This is the first time I've ever run for anything. If you can't tell, I am not an experienced politician. I'm an experienced community advocate. I am an experienced servant. I have experience in serving my church, my family, my country. I spent 12 years with the Department of Defense doing active anti-ship cruise missile defense weapons training. I have built houses in my community. I have managed small budgets and large budgets. So I have tons of experience. But that's not the experience they want, right? They want career politicians. Yeah. When they say I don't have experience, what they're saying is we don't want the average, everyday, normal American to get off their couch and think that they can have a say in this. That's reserved exclusively for career politicians, for the people that have these mechanisms in place, right? They have funds, they have PACs, they have all this support from their other politicians, from corporations. They have all this energy behind them, and that's where their experience is. They are experienced at politics, which is a terrible thing to say, because when you're experienced at politics, you have no experience in service, you have experience in politics. And the corners of your mouths are kind of different when you talk about a career politician. For example, out of the corner of their mouth, they'll say, I'm the party of family values. This is my 3rd wife and I am 6 months behind on child support. They will say, I'm here for the environment, and then make these back deals with these sorts of corporations. They will tell you that they're the party of law and order. But even if you look at this local level, even just driving around your town, you'll see signs, political signs. This is my first campaign ever run, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. So I got this big booklet from the state of Michigan that tells me all the rules for running a campaign. And one of the very first things it tells you on page 4 is where you can and can't put your political campaign and signage. And you cannot put them in public places, right? I can't just start putting my signs wherever I feel like it. I have to give them to people like you who put them in your yard to say that I support this. But if you drive around town, or if you're looking around, you'll see Republican signs in front of churches, in front of schools, in front of libraries. You'll see them on random corners out in the street. They'll put them wherever they please because they want to write the laws. They don't want to follow laws. They're not writing those laws for them. And if they're going to break even the smallest laws right in front of your face, what do you think they're going to do when no one's looking? Because one half of their mouth says, I'm a party of law and order. But what their actions are showing you is they're not. What one part of their mouth tells you is, I'm for the people. But what their actions are showing you is they're not. They don't want average, everyday Americans in politics. They want career politicians in politics. And they want you to echo that for them. They want you to say, yeah, that's right, that's what we want, that's what we've always had. But is that what we really want anymore? Is that showing the reflection of our values in our communities? Are we seeing politics getting choked out by politicians? It's time that we bring this back to the people, and I think that's kind of where people like me are kind of standing up these days. Because one of my favorite quotes is, I looked around and I thought, why isn't somebody doing something about this? And then I realized that I'm somebody. And so there's a lot of I'm somebodies. There's a lot of Kelly Vangenhoven and Kyle Blomquist and Abduls and Rachel's standing up and saying that average, everyday non-politicians, it's time for us to get involved. It's time for us to take this back. We the people need to be put in charge of it. Time for that. So I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you getting actually involved in your community, because that's where change actually happens, at the community level. You don't have to be incensed over national politics, although that's fun sometimes, to be real. Like, we can all get real mad about Donald Trump lying to the public yet again. But in reality, get your mad at home and then get out and stop the mine that comes into your neighborhood. That's the action that we need to take. And I appreciate you guys for actually taking that action. If you have more questions, those are the guys. Those are the guys.
And Rachel has a card.